We're back at it with another edition of Sundays with Serby. And this week, the New York Post sports columnist, who is a legend, talked with CBS Sports college basketball insider Jon Rothstein. So it's time for some March Madness talk with Mr. Serby, who joins me now. How you doing, Steve?
Good, Dex. How about you?
I'm doing well. Can't believe
this is
here.
This is March. This is March.
This is March. A statement said by Jon Rothstein, as he normally does. It's madness time. Are you ready for the madness, Steve?
We sleep in May, Dex. We sleep in May.
I'm not going to go that far with that because I like my sleep, but I understand the point. I understand the point. All right, let's talk about Jon Rothstein because he's become one of the premier voices and newsbreakers in college basketball. What does he think about his journey to where he is now, and how has he seen college basketball change during his career?
Well, he's doing exactly what he wanted to do as a boy. He wanted to cover college basketball for CBS Sports. And he started very humble beginnings. He had to buy and sell airtime to make his mark because nothing was given to him. There was a 500-watt station in New Rochelle, WVOX. He would have to buy and sell airtime so he could have his own demo. And obviously it's paid off in a big way for him. His love of college basketball began on March 30th, 1991, when his father told his mother, no, we're not going out. Forget those plans with that other couple. We're going to sit here and watch Duke versus UNLV in the Final Four. And from that moment on, Jon Rothstein was hooked after watching that game. Christian Laettner was his boyhood idol. And all these years later, the man is a brand. Jon Rothstein, we sleep in May. This is March.
Do we have any idea in that story how Mrs. Rothstein felt about those plans being canceled? Because I have to take it that she probably wasn't too thrilled about that.
She could not be reached for comment.
Understood. Okay, had to do my due diligence and check on that. But Jon Rothstein, he's absolutely putting the work to get where he is. Does a fantastic job
but the
covering
good news,
the sport.
But what came out of that was their parents became proud of Rothstein's passion for college basketball, and they knew that's what he wanted to do. And as he said, the only drawback was they had to listen to him and watch him for years and years and years after that.
Oh, now a lot of people do, and they like his work. They like his work and his information there. So salute to Jon. Steve,
by the way, he has one of the same passions as you and I do, Dex. Food.
I noticed this from the Q&A, and I will tell people I wanted to hold that. If you read this Q&A, as you should, on NewYorkPost.com, you will see that Steve asked him about some of his favorite restaurants around the city. And I was surprised one that Steve loves didn't make Jon's list, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh,
but,
Parkside, you mean?
Yeah, I thought that would be there, but it was not.
Yeah, well, it's on my list. But Elio's, Campagnola, Primola, and one of my favorite places on Long Island and Carr Place, Vincent's Clam Bar. Excellent place. Excellent place.
Got to check that one out. Steve is always giving me good recommendations and vice
versa
too.
I've gone to dinner with you, and I've gone to dinner with Rothstein, and Rothstein eats more than you and me combined.
Oh, does he? Okay. Well, all right. I'm glad that wasn't me. I'm glad that wasn't me you said that about there. But Steve, what does Jon make of this St. John's team this year? Because we got to talk about the Johnnies, and where does he believe that Rick Pitino can take the Red Storm over the next few years?
He thinks that St. John's will be a top 25 team, maybe next year, but certainly in the next 2 years. This year's team he likes, and he thinks that if Jordan Dingle can play the way he did on Friday night against UConn, then the ceiling rises for this St. John's team, which Rick Pitino believes can do some damage in the NCAA tournament, the way they're playing offensively. Danis Jenkins is a tremendous leader, Pitino's lieutenant, and they need more than they got Friday night from big man Joel Soriano. But St. John's with Pitino is always a tough out, and Pitino has now taken 6 teams, 6 different schools to the NCAA tournament. So kudos to him. He's the godfather, according to Rothstein. Rothstein dubs different coaches, different names. Uh, Dan Hurley, not Bobby Hurley, Dan Hurley is the carpenter because of how skillful he is at building a championship team. So, yeah, no, St. John's better days are ahead for St. John's, and the St. John's faithful should be thrilled that they have a Hall of Fame coach like Rick Pitino, who has changed everything. Now, the one drawback that Rothstein sees is what he calls portal combat. The portal has changed so much. Now, Pitino, of course, is a master recruiter, but the challenge for all these coaches now is dealing with NIL, dealing with players who want to be free agents and want to jump to another school. And Pitino's challenge will be to mold a team with a bunch of new players, as he did this year, and try to convince some of the players he has now to remain. So portal combat, and look, Rothstein tells me that's why guys like Jay Wright and Roy Williams and Jim Boeheim said, that's it, I've had it. It's a different era in college basketball. It's too volatile. And as Rothstein likes to say, anarchy? Nope. This is college basketball.
Just college basketball. Well, it's that time, whether you want to call it anarchy, college basketball, March Madness. It is that time. Steve Serby says that he will not sleep till May. You know why? That's because we're working on a new Q&A every week for the great people out there to read. Check out his Q&A with Jon Rothstein on NewYorkPost.com. Steve, enjoy Selection Sunday. Enjoy the madness that is about to begin. We will talk next week.
I hope, for your sake, Pitt gets in.
Oh, I hope they do. You know I'll be wearing my blue and gold. You know that for sure. Let's go Pitt.
Absolutely. You got it.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks.